So, if you listen to different podcasts and people who are trying to improve themselves, like if they're interviewed on podcasts like that, people who used to be addicts of one form or another, some of them might say, for example, that they no longer use any porn at all. They cut that out of their lives, or something like that, something along those lines, where they try not to masturbate or something like that. And the whole idea is that with the advent of very freely and easily obtainable porn, and people who can have access to the internet, it has tended to ruin sexual relations. I guess suppose mainly on the men's side. They become desensitized to what a real sexual relationship and a real sexual encounters might be like. And the whole idea is that, there's too much, it's too available, it's too easy. It's too easy to go further and further and, have more extreme, at least visual experiences as a result of porn. Now, the thing is that there may be some truth to that, right? But if there is some truth to it, and I'm suggesting that there is, what does that mean with respect to movies and TV? And I know it's a bit late. I mean, TV and movies have been around for, is it almost 100 years now, or 100 years? They've been freely available, and even if you want to go so far as to books and so on, people have been able to read because of modern schooling and so on. So we have had access to lots and lots of fiction, but I suppose this more applies to movies. All right, because that's what most of us consume to excess. Now, if porn has ruined sex, what has fictional TV series and comedies done to our expectations of what real life is supposed to be like? I mean, one very simple example is that movies and TV have kind of ruined our expectations of what explosions might be like, and gunshots might be like, and silences, if they don't even really exist for that matter. For example, all of us know that silencers are completely silent, that you can use a silencer and shoot someone and somebody in the next room is not going to hear it. And what people who have experience with guns and silencers tell us is that there's no such thing as that type of silencer. Or, we have this idea that we are going to have relationships with people who look like movie stars, or, with bodies of a certain shape, and our interactions are going to be, the kind of montages that we see in movies. I think that movies and TV series and TV in general, that kind of entertainment has completely ruined us for what real life is like, in terms of how we would meet new people and all of this stuff. And I was also thinking, again, if porn ruins sex and movies ruin reality, what does the ready access of sugar and salt, what role does that have on our taste buds and our expectations of what different foods taste like? I mean, a couple of thousand years ago, probably salt was valuable. People used to be paid in salt. It was so precious. So you had this limited supply of this resource that, made things taste better and enhanced our appetites and all of these different things that, a hunter-gatherer or somebody who was a farmer, let's say, but they weren't involved in any trading or anything, they wouldn't have had ready access to put salt into butter, for example, if they weren't trading with someone. And the way that foods would have tasted way back in the past without so much sugar and salt, I imagine that has completely changed our bodies. The idea that every bite of food that we have is supposed to taste this sweet or this, salty, or this umami flavor that we can get from seaweed. All of these things have changed our perception of what a sexual relationship would be like, what reality is like, what we should expect. A lot of us have this idea that we come from a broken home or from a a dysfunctional family. If everybody's family is dysfunctional, then nobody's family is dysfunctional. Nobody has a normal family. It just makes me think of what was life like before we had these things that not only dialed our perceptions up to 10, like every spoonful of the thing that we put in our mouth, it has to have all of this flavor or sweetness or saltiness or whatever. And every day our minds are, given these explosions and bright lights and plot twists and things that, when you look at a soap opera, for example, they have to hire a certain group of actors. And as a result of that, everybody ends up having a relationship with everybody else, so that your brother could also be your cousin and your uncle, and your mother is, all sorts of crazy relationships occur in these soap operas in order to satisfy our need for excitement. And again, the same with respect to porn. What this lady was talking about rimming and all of these things, and people asking for permission to do this, and urinating in different strange ways. And wow, if we went into the past, we would probably be bored out of our minds. It would be the worst experience ever, it seems like. Or maybe it might be the best one. I don't know. But I think for most of us that we clearly don't live in the real world anymore, the real world that we evolved in. Our perceptions are completely skewed by all of these colors that, hunter-gatherers probably never saw, all these tastes that they never tasted, all of these relationships and ideas about how relationships should be, and ideas about explosions and avalanches and gunshots and all sorts of crazy things that they wouldn't have even been able to imagine. I don't know. I wonder how our perceptions are going to be skewed in the future, and by what. There's Neuralink, so we could have electrical impulses beamed directly into our brains. I wonder what that is like. Anyway, I was just thinking. Peace.